Juan Rodriguez Cabrillo was a Spanish explorer that set out from Spain on June 1542 to explore Alta California. In September 1542, Cabrillo finally reached San Diego from his long journey at sea. While Cabrillo went out to find gold and other riches, he also wanted to find a shortcut to Asia called the Strait of Anian. Spain sponsored Cabrillo with food, water, and many other things that would help them survive at sea. Cabrillo was a Portuguese soldier and a conquistador, but then worked his way up to a shipbuilder and finally a sea captain. However, Cabrillo was only a sea captain from 1542 to 1543. Cabrillo led his crew north from Navidad, Mexico, along the Pacific coast. Cabrillo then went past Baja California to San Diego Bay. They continued to sail north to Point Muju and met the Chumash Indians. Then they went to Monterey Bay, farther up to Point Reyes, and finally to the Channel Islands. Cabrillo met a lot of obstacles on his way at sea that he had to face. For example, it was a long journey. On the long journey, they faced winds and storms. There was also not enough food for 250 men. Alongside with the food, there were rats that tried to eat the men's meal. While there was a long journey, there were also pirates that wanted to steal their gold, riches, and other valuable things that they found. While Cabrillo and his men also met Native Americans on the way, which sometimes caused a fight, there were a lot of illnesses and disease. Cabrillo lost a limb which got infected, and that caused him to die. On Cabrillo's ships, there was a lot of obstacles that made it hard for them to live on the ship. For example, there were the sleeping problems. Only the captain and the priest could sleep in the beds, which made it hard for the rest of the crew to sleep because there was a lot of rats and it was a hard floor. It was hard to find food and fresh water because there was not a lot of time to hunt and collect nuts and berries. Additionally, the men only ate fish, nuts, beans, and crackers. They were limited to these types of foods because they could all be dried so the food could last a long time, and since they didn't have any vitamin C, that caused them to get a disease called scurvy. Cabrillo and his men also had trouble finding fresh water along the way. The crew needed fresh water because if they drank bad water from the sea, they would become sick and they would die. Cabrillo explored new lands that no other explorers had found, which led the way for future explorers. He also charted the coast of California. For example, he found and explored San Diego Bay in 1542, which is a good harbor for other explorers to land from sea. Cabrillo didn't find any gold or riches, but he did help Spain learn about the coast of Alta California. In conclusion, Cabrillo was a Spanish explorer in the 1500s that helped Spain and explore new lands.